What is up, you guys? It is Dr. Kathleen Nash with Total Transformation, and I wanted to send you a quick video showing you what is commonly happening in our country in terms of why so many people are struggling to lose weight and how we're being misled into ways that we can correct it. So recently, last week, I had a new client start out with me, and her story was very similar to what many people have told me when they come in to see me, which is I'm eating less and I'm moving more and I just can't seem to be losing any weight. In fact, this particular client said she was at times eating as low as 1,200 calories a day and that she was working out up to 90 minutes a day. And despite doing this, she was unable to lose weight. Now, it just so happens that when she came in, she was eating something, right? So she had brought something in with her, and this is actually what she brought in. Can you guys see that, right? So she brought this cup in, and as I'm talking to her and finding out what her issues are, I asked her what was in the drink. And when she responded, she was defending the drink, saying that this was something that she commonly had every day, that it was just blended kale. She specifically asks for them not to add any sugar and that it tastes crappy. So when a client tells me that they're drinking a drink and it tastes crappy, that usually indicates to me that this is not a drink that they enjoy. So from what she was saying about the drink and how it tastes, my indication that this is something that she's doing for her health. This is something that she believes is a healthy thing to do on a daily basis in order to get her weight under control. The reason I'm bringing it up to you is because food items like this are very misleading when we purchase them, mainly because they're telling us that there's healthy things in them. It's chock full of fruits and vegetables. It's also, blended together. It tastes good. And she specifically tells them not to add sugar to it. However, she doesn't need to add any sugar to it because the amount of sugar already in the drink as a result of the fruits that were blended into the mixed kale to make it taste decent was already significant enough that the company did not have to add any added sugar to it. One thing I want you guys to be aware of is that just because a product says that there's no sugar added does not mean that there's no sugar in it. It just means that most likely the product is already sweet enough that they don't have to add any sugar on top of it. The other thing that I want you guys to know is that carbohydrates coming from grain, alcohol, sugar, and starch tend to be the leading contributors of a problem known as metabolic syndrome. So metabolic syndrome is basically a classification of risk factors that can show up in the body indicating that we're going to have a problem with certain metabolic diseases. Metabolic diseases are things like heart disease, type 2 diabetes, Alzheimer's, hypothyroid, leaky gut, fatty liver, polycystic ovarian disease, and obesity is a common symptom of that syndrome. A person can have metabolic syndrome and not have the obesity symptom. And someone can have a weight problem and have metabolic syndrome, and a common approach like eating less or moving more will have results, but they tend to be very slow, very difficult, and people usually give up before they're able to change. And in this girl's case, she honestly felt that she was giving it her all and things weren't changing for her. So once I was done having my pre-consult with her, I went and looked at her information, at her evaluation, and one of the things I did was look up the nutrition info of this smoothie. And when I did, this is what I found. So this was the exact smoothie that she had. She had an island green smoothie. Remember, she's telling me that it's got blended kale in it, and she told them no sugar. If we look at the nutrition facts, first of all, for 380 calories of a smoothie, this thing has a whopping 97 grams of carbohydrate. Of that 97 grams of carbohydrate, 83 grams are sugar. So to put that into perspective for you, the World Health Organization says that we should not have more than 20 grams of added sugar a day. And this thing has 4 days worth of added sugar. If she has metabolic syndrome, which she does, meaning that she has difficulty losing weight, she had some risk factors showing up, such as carrying weight around the middle. She also was having a high blood pressure issue, which is an indicator of metabolic syndrome. She also had high triglycerides, which is an indicator of metabolic syndrome. So chances are she probably also has high blood sugar, or she has insulin resistance, which is on her way to blood sugar. When this kind of person, a person who has metabolic syndrome, eats 4 days of sugar just for breakfast, she is literally stopping her body's ability to 1, get well, 2, reverse this syndrome, and 3, lose weight. Her body is going to struggle immensely to lose weight if she's starting off her day with 4 days worth of sugar. The reason I'm making this video is to tell you guys to be careful out there, read your labels, and get informed. If you're somebody who has extra weight, you've been carrying extra weight for a while, if you've been carrying it in your middle, if you have high blood pressure, any cholesterol issues, or if you have triglycerides in the blood, you are technically suffering from metabolic syndrome. And when you suffer from metabolic syndrome, eating less and moving more is going to be a very difficult pathway if you don't control the type of calories you're eating. Hopefully, this gives you a little bit of insight. The good news is all of this can be reversed if you just have the right technique. If you're not sure how to get started, by all means, contact us at www.drnash.com. Make sure you like the video if it gave you some information. Make sure you subscribe so that you get more education, and we'll be seeing you soon. Have a good one.